If you came to this country through the CHNV Parole program and you have been seeing terrifying posts saying your status is being taken away, I want you to know that I understand the fear you are feeling right now. Your heart is racing. Your mind is filled with questions. You're worried about your family, your job, your home, everything you have worked so hard to build. I am here to help you understand exactly what is happening, what the government has actually announced, and what real options may still be available to you. No panic, no exaggeration, just the truth you need to hear right now. Please subscribe to Immigration Path USA for the latest updates about immigration news and changes, so you can stay informed with accurate and reliable information. Now let me walk you through everything we know as of today, January 19th, 2026, about the CHNV Parole Program, what the Department of Homeland Security has officially announced, what this means for you and your family, and what steps you may be able to take before the deadlines that have been published. First, let me explain what the CHNV Parole Program is for anyone who may not fully understand it. CHNV stands for Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This program was created to allow nationals of these four countries to come to the United States legally on a temporary basis under a process called Humanitarian Parole. Under this program, individuals had to have a financial sponsor in the United States, they had to apply online, pass background checks and vetting, and if approved, they were authorized to travel to the United States and were paroled into the country for a period of up to 2 years. Upon arrival, CHNV parolees were eligible to apply for work authorization, meaning they could legally work in the United States during their parole period. It is important to understand that parole is not a visa. Parole is not a green card. Parole is not permanent status. By its very legal definition, parole is a temporary authorization to be present in the United States for a specific period of time for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. Parole can be terminated by the government, and parolees were always informed that their status was temporary and could be revoked. Now, what has actually been announced? The Department of Homeland Security has officially published a notice stating that the CHNV Humanitarian Parole Program is being terminated. According to the official announcement, the program will end effective March 31st, 2026. Additionally, advanced travel authorizations that had been issued to individuals who were approved but had not yet traveled to the United States are being canceled starting February 15th, 2026. This means that if you were approved for CHNV parole, but you have not yet entered the United States, your authorization to travel is being revoked and you will not be able to use it to enter the country. For those who are already in the United States under CHNV parole, the termination announcement means that your parole status will no longer be extended beyond the original period you were granted. And in many cases, the government is moving to terminate parole before the original end date. The official guidance states that CHNV paroles must either depart the United States or, if eligible, adjust their status to a lawful immigration status before the termination deadline. I want to be very clear about something. This is not a rumor. This is not a social media claim. This is an official government announcement that has been published through formal channels. The termination of the CHNV program is real and it is happening. However, I also want to be clear that having your parole terminated does not mean that immigration officers will immediately come to your door on April 1st. What it means is that after the termination date, you will no longer have lawful status in the United States. And being present without lawful status carries serious consequences, including potential removal from the country. Now, let me address some of the misinformation and confusion that has been spreading online, because I know many of you have seen posts that have caused extreme panic. First, some people are claiming that everyone who came through CHNV will be immediately arrested and deported on April 1st. This is not accurate. While the termination of parole does end your lawful status, the government does not have the resources to simultaneously locate and remove over 500,000 people on a single day. What will happen is that individuals without lawful status become subject to immigration enforcement, meaning that if you are encountered by immigration officers, you may be placed in removal proceedings. The enforcement priorities I discussed in my previous video still apply, meaning the government has stated it will focus resources on certain categories of individuals first. However, being without lawful status does put you at significant risk, and this is not a situation anyone should ignore. Second, some people are claiming that USCIS will automatically convert CHNV parole into another status. This is completely false. There is no automatic conversion. Parole does not turn into a green card or a visa by itself. If you want to remain in the United States lawfully, you must take action to apply for a different immigration status that you are eligible for. Nobody will do this for you automatically. Third, some people are saying that if you have a pending asylum case, your parole termination does not matter. This requires clarification. If you enter the United States under CHNV parole and you filed an asylum application within 1 year of your arrival, your asylum case may still be pending with USCIS or the immigration court. Having a pending asylum case does give you certain protections, but those protections depend on the specific circumstances of your case. If your asylum case is still pending and has not been decided, you should consult with an immigration attorney immediately to understand how the parole termination affects your situation and what steps you need to take. Now, let me talk about the options that may be available to you. I want to emphasize that every person's situation is different, and what applies to one person may not apply to another. This is why consulting with a licensed immigration attorney is so critically important right now. I am going to discuss general categories of relief that may be available to some CHNV parolees, but only an attorney who reviews your specific case can tell you which options apply to you. Option 1 is adjustment of status through a family relationship. If you have an immediate relative who is a United States citizen, such as a spouse, parent, or adult child, over 21, you may be eligible to apply for adjustment of status to become a lawful permanent resident. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens are not subject to visa backlogs, meaning that if you qualify and your petition is approved, you may be able to get a green card relatively quickly. However, there are important requirements. You must have been inspected and admitted or paroled into the United States, which CHNV parolees were. You must have an approved immigrant petition or file one concurrently. You must be otherwise admissible or qualify for a waiver of inadmissibility. If you have a U.S. citizen spouse, parent, or adult child, talk to an attorney immediately about filing an I-130 petition and an I-485 adjustment application before the March deadline. Option 2 is asylum. If you have a genuine fear of persecution in your home country based on your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, you may be eligible for asylum. To apply for asylum, you must file within 1 year of your last arrival in the United States, unless you qualify for an exception. If you already filed for asylum and your case is pending, your work permit may be renewed based on the pending asylum case, and you may have certain protections while waiting for a decision. However, asylum is not guaranteed. You must actually qualify based on the legal requirements, and the asylum process has become more difficult in recent years. If you believe you have a genuine asylum claim, consult with an attorney who specializes in asylum cases. Option 3 is temporary protected status, known as TPS. As of now, nationals of Venezuela, Haiti, and Nicaragua have been designated for TPS at various times. However, TPS designations can change, and the current administration has indicated it may terminate or not extend TPS for some countries. You need to check the current status of TPS for your country of nationality as of today. If TPS is currently available for your country and you meet the eligibility requirements, including having been continuously present in the United States since the required date, you may be able to apply for or renew TPS. TPS provides temporary protection from removal and work authorization, but it is also temporary and can be terminated. Check the official USCIS website for the current TPS status of your country. Option 4 is voluntary departure. If you do not have any option to adjust your status or obtain another form of protection, you may want to consider voluntary departure before the deadline. Voluntary departure means leaving the United States on your own terms, at your own expense before being ordered removed. The benefit of voluntary departure is that it may help you avoid certain bars to future reentry that apply to people who are formally deported. If you are removed through deportation proceedings, you may be barred from returning to the United States for 10 years or longer. If you depart voluntarily, you may avoid some of those consequences. although you should discuss this carefully with an attorney before making any decisions. Option 5 is consulting with an attorney about any other relief. There are many forms of immigration relief under U.S. law that may apply to specific situations. For example, if you are a victim of a crime committed in the United States, you may qualify for a U visa. If you are a victim of domestic violence by a U.S. citizen or permanent resident spouse or parent, you may qualify for VAWA protections. If you have been present in the United States for 10 years or more and have U.S. citizen or permanent resident family members who would suffer extreme hardship if you were removed, you may qualify for cancellation of removal. These are complex legal options that require careful analysis of your specific facts. Do not assume you have no options without talking to a qualified professional. Let me now talk about what you should absolutely avoid doing right now. Do not pay anyone who promises to fix your status for a fee without being a licensed attorney or accredited representative. Immigration fraud is rampant during times of uncertainty like this, and there are people who will take your money and provide nothing in return, or worse, file fraudulent documents that destroy your case. Only work with licensed attorneys or Department of Justice accredited representatives. You can verify an attorney's license through your state bar association. Do not ignore the situation and hope it goes away. The deadline is real. If you do nothing and your parole is terminated, you will be without lawful status, and that creates serious problems. Take action now, even if that action is simply consulting with an attorney to understand your options. Do not make major decisions based on social media posts or advice from friends and family who are not immigration professionals. I know everyone wants to help, but immigration law is extremely complex and wrong advice can have devastating consequences. Get professional guidance. Do not sign any documents from immigration officers without understanding what you are signing. If you are ever encountered by immigration officials, you have the right to remain silent, the right to refuse to sign documents you do not understand, and the right to ask for an attorney. Exercise those rights. I want to remind you that everything I have shared in this video is general information based on publicly available official government sources and announcements. This is not legal advice for your specific situation. Your case has unique facts and circumstances that require individual analysis. Please consult with a licensed immigration attorney who can review your case and give you personalized guidance. I also want to say something to you on a personal level. I know this is an incredibly difficult and frightening time. You came to this country looking for safety, opportunity, and a better life. You followed the process, you applied legally, you were approved, and now you feel like the ground is shifting beneath your feet. That uncertainty is painful, and your feelings are valid. But I want you to know that there are still paths forward for many people. Not every door is closed. There may be options available to you that you do not even know about yet. The most important thing you can do right now is get informed, get professional help, and take action while you still have time. In the coming weeks, there will be more developments, more announcements, and more changes. This channel will be here to bring you the truth as it unfolds. I will always tell you what is confirmed, what is rumor, what is proposed, and what is actually law. I will never exaggerate or use fear to get views. You deserve honest information, and that is what I will always provide. If this video helped you understand what is really happening with the CHNV program, please take a moment to subscribe to Immigration Path USA and tap the notification bell so you are the first to know when there are new updates. Give this video a thumbs up because it helps other people in our community find this information when they need it most. Please share this video with your friends, family members, neighbors, and anyone you know who came through the CHNV program. They need this information too, and they may not know where to find it. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me your situation. What country are you from? What questions do you have? What topics do you want me to cover next? I read your comments, and your questions help me create content that serves you better. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting Immigration Path USA to bring you the truth during this difficult time. Stay strong, stay informed, and take action while you still have time. I will see you in the next video.